We've driven millions of clicks, millions of dollars of revenue, and helped our clients drive hundreds of thousands of new users and customers all through organic SEO traffic. And this week, we're showing retention.com how they can set up an evergreen cluster of keywords so that they drive full funnel traffic that helps them drive leads and conversions. Retention.com is an awesome tool that helps e-commerce companies identify anonymous traffic and email them, as well as build audiences so that they can retarget them across the web. This is week 7 of 52 in our series called How We Would Grow This, where we show a new company every single week how they can set up an evergreen cluster of content and optimize their landing page so that they drive a ton of traffic and conversions all through organic SEO traffic. So that being said, let's dive into some of these keywords.
How we'd grow this profitably.
Awesome. So today we're basically going to be showing retention.com how they can optimize around 10 different keywords that will drive over $10,000 per month worth of site traffic in the US alone, and also 3,700 plus visitors on a global basis. Before we jump into the different content and the keyword plan that we put together, let's first take a look at the homepage and understand the business category that retention.com plays within, and then also take a look at some of the competitors too. So first thing that stands out over here is that retention.com, the title is 250% plus increase in Klaviyo revenue. And the value proposition is easily grow your email list and boost your Klaviyo flow revenue with retention.com. So the value proposition over here is basically to turn anonymous shoppers into revenue. But one thing that stands out over here is that the category, if you want to call it that retention.com identifies itself as is an identity resolution software. So that's really important as we jump into Ahrefs, which is the SEO software that we use. We'll show you, how there's a couple of optimizations that retention.com can make, but we'll cover the specific optimizations more towards the end of the video. More specifically, right now, we want to just take a look at the competitive landscape. So jumping right into Ahrefs, let's take a look at the kind of competitive landscape that retention.com is playing within. So we took a look at two competitors. One is larger and one is kind of roughly the same size, which is Wonderkind is the same size. Bluecore is a bit larger of a company. So from a search traffic standpoint, retention.com is lagging behind both of them. Wonderkind is roughly double the traffic of retention.com. Bluecore is a significantly larger company, and they're driving about 4,700 search visitors in the US alone. So from a keyword standpoint, it looks like retention.com is winning, but that's because you're mostly ranking for branded search terms, which I'll cover in a quick sec. And from a backlink profile, I quickly just wanted to touch on this. So domain rating is an important metric that we kind of look at when we understand the quantity and quality of links that are pointed to your website. So it looks like everybody is all competing within that kind of same neighborhood of roughly 75 to 80 domain reputation. So that means that it's kind of an even playing field, but it looks like the other folks have just put in a lot more effort for search optimization. So it looks once again like there are more keywords that you're ranking for, but they are mostly variations of your branded term. And that's really important to consider as we jump into the screen. So for example, you'll notice that most of the keywords that you're ranking for over here are like retention software, retention platform, retention.com, website retention. So these are awesome keywords, but it seems like the category that you identify with as is identity resolution software. So if we specifically search for identity resolution software within these keywords that you're ranking for, it won't really show anything. So I'm not really sure if that is like a core term that your buyers are using to find your solution, then this isn't really the best outcome over here, because your homepage, your landing page is not really optimized around that keyword. So when we take a look at your competitors, for example, bluecore.com, Bluecore's homepage is optimized around it's like a customer retail marketing technology, right? They've even mentioned that in their title tag. Accordingly, they are also ranking for that keyword, retail marketing technology, at position 5. But it's a really valuable keyword because it's got an $11.40 cost per click. Similarly, Wonderkind is also ranking for the target keyword that they have in mind. So they are targeting performance marketing. Give it a quick sec to load. They're targeting performance marketing, and accordingly on their homepage, they're able to optimize around that, and that's why they're able to also rank for performance marketing solution, uh, other related and different language terms for performance marketing, but they've optimized around that. So if retention marketing is the core thing that you're trying to optimize around, I'd recommend probably updating your homepage and trying to focus more on like retention marketing or retention software. I'm not sure if that's the best term to focus on, which is what your target audience is looking for. But that's just a quick tip. We'll cover the core keyword that we'd recommend optimizing for your homepage around later towards the end of the video. But that leads us to the next step, which we're going to be discussing the 10 different keywords that we'd recommend you build an initial cluster around so that you can start generating top, middle, and bottom of funnel traffic. Awesome. Without further ado, let's jump into some of the different keywords that we'd cover at the different stages of the funnel. So we recommend a full funnel approach. This way you're able to generate traffic top, middle, and bottom of funnel because people have different varying levels of intent and relevance at each stage. So you're able to basically build an evergreen funnel of qualified traffic this way. So before we jump into the keyword, let's take a look at the target audience that we're looking to get in front of. So we're looking to attract Ben, who is a 37-year-old D2C brand founder. And the first stage of the funnel is top of funnel, where Ben is basically kind of perplexed and he's wondering if he's doing something wrong and he's wondering if he's just overthinking it. He's basically just trying to figure out how to grow his email marketing list because that's something that we noticed when we looked at retention.com's case studies is that everybody really was happy at the fact that retention.com helped them build the top of funnel list and then drive conversions from that as well. So Ben at this stage, when he's in the top of the funnel, he's kind of just figuring out and thinking about if he's doing anything wrong with his email marketing flow and operation. So some of the keywords that he'd be looking at is e-commerce email marketing list, and then email marketing flows. So let's take a look at some of these keywords and how you would write content that would rank for these given keywords. The first one is email marketing list. So basically what somebody at this point is trying to do is figure out how to build and grow their email marketing list. It gets about 400 searches per month in the US at an $8 CPC. So it's a very valuable keyword. As you can imagine, people are bidding for it. It is a bit hard, so you'll likely need to build a bunch of backlinks in order to rank for this. But once you do rank for it, it's a very valuable keyword because you're generating approximately 2,600 visitors per month. That's what the top ranking result is able to generate on a monthly basis. But if you just look at ranking specifically for this keyword, you'd be having 400 searches per month in the US and 900 searches globally. So the kind of content that you'd want to write over here is similar to what OmniSend has done, where they've basically put together the top strategies to build an email list. So let's click through on their post and let's take a look at what you would do instead. So they built this post on the 12 killer strategies for building an email marketing list from scratch. So you'd want to do something similar, but what you'd want to do is go above and beyond for the end user, the end visitor. So instead of 12, you'd have something like 15 to 16 killer strategies to build an email list quickly and easily. And what we would recommend is adding tons of call to actions throughout the post because somebody at this point is trying to find a solution essentially. Even though it's top of funnel, they're not really aware of your business category and your solution. They're looking to essentially find some kind of solution, right? So add tons of call to actions, and the top strategy essentially over here needs to be using retention.com, and you need to lay out the value proposition for the user. So for example, if you're an e-commerce business, you've got tons of traffic that's visiting your site, you've got cart abandonment, you've got site abandonment, and so the best strategy to grow your email list is essentially to use something like retention.com, which can help you build that top of funnel list that you can market against and email market to. And this way you can drive more revenue and also build an email list as well at the same time. So the next keyword that you want to look at is e-commerce email marketing. This is similar to email marketing list in that it's really high up in the funnel. It's in fact even more higher up in the funnel than email marketing list. It's got 900 search volume in the US, $13 CPC, very valuable. You will need to build a bunch of backlinks in order to rank for this. But the top ranking post is able to generate 900 visitors per month. And this is Omnisend, so they also have an email marketing centric solution. It's the same company that we just looked at just now, but then they've got email marketing for e-commerce, 9 winning campaign types to drive sales. So the idea over here is the same thing. You'd want to feature 9+ winning campaign types to drive sales, and the number one winning campaign type that you'd want to feature essentially is being able to convert anonymous traffic into sales. So that's a campaign type that you'd want to be running all the time. It's an evergreen flow, and the best way to actually run that kind of campaign is to use retention.com, which integrates into Klaviyo, and you're able to basically monetize your traffic better in ways that you weren't able to do so before. So the next and final keyword for top of funnel is email marketing flows. So the top ranking post over here is from Klaviyo. They basically put together the 9 email marketing automation examples for 2024. So you'd want to do the same thing. You'd want to do 9+, so something like 12 to 13+ email marketing flows and automation examples for 2024. And the top example that you want to share is the best email marketing automation for e-commerce companies is being able to capitalize on unidentified traffic and converting that into revenue, also building your email list at the same time. So the goal essentially with these top of funnel keywords is that you may be able to drive a bunch of traffic, you will definitely be able to drive a bunch of traffic because you've got search volumes like 400 visitors over here, 900 visitors over here. But if you layer in the right call to actions and you make that story compelling, that value proposition compelling for the visitor, then you would be able to drive conversions even at the top of the funnel. But at this point, the user is basically just trying to find tips and tricks to improve their email marketing operation. So this is a really good spot to build awareness and also drive conversions. Okay, cool. So now we're in the middle of the funnel, and as you can see, our friend Ben is a little bit less stressed over here. He looks significantly more stressed. He's just kind of worried about how to improve his operation. Over here, he looks a little bit more relaxed because he knows that other people have these issues as well, and he's just basically trying to figure out how other people are solving for these issues. So he's a little bit more calm because he knows that there's a path to success. But at this stage, essentially, people are aware that there's a problem, but they don't know if there's a solution or which solution to choose. So middle of funnel is where it starts to get really exciting because you get closer and closer to your business category and what you identify your business as. And the reason for that is because as you get closer to your business category, you find people that have a lot more relevance and intent, and accordingly, the conversion rate is a lot better too. So looking at the first keyword is identifying anonymous website traffic. So it's relatively easy to rank for this. Still an extremely valuable keyword because it's got an $8 CPC, 150 search volume. The top ranking post generates about 100 visitors on a monthly basis too. And then they've basically written a post on how to identify anonymous website visitors. So they're going for the B2B angle. You can do B2B, you can cover e-commerce. Basically, the goal is the person over here is basically just trying to figure out how to identify anonymous website visitors. So you'd want to basically put together this guide and layer in multiple call to actions to tell the user or visitor that they should use retention.com in order to successfully identify anonymous website visitors, and how your customers have been able to successfully use your software to not only identify anonymous website visitors, but also drive revenue and conversions as well using your solution. So the next keyword over is a little bit harder. because we're getting a lot closer to your target category. So it's like cart abandonment solutions. Over here, clearly the person that is searching this has a real pain. It's 200 searches per month with a $3 CPC. The number one ranking article is from an e-commerce centric solution. They basically written about the keys to abandoned cart recovery. So let's take a look at this and reducing lost sales. So what you'd want to do in this given article is you'd want to cover a guide on what are the tips and tricks to abandon cart recovery. And of course, like the intent over here is really clear. The user is basically trying to get more conversions, get less abandoned carts. So a good solution over here is that you lay out kind of like the industry norms, industry standards. Like here's X percentage abandoned cart rate across all different types of e-commerce. But what are people doing to get past the abandoned cart? We know that abandoned cart is an issue, but people are using solutions like retention.com in order to successfully recover abandoned carts because they're able to build targeted audiences and retarget those people. But then they're also able to add them to their email list and then email them so that they can get the right offer at the right time, which leads to conversions and revenue. So the next keyword over is improving e-commerce conversion rate. This one is also extremely relevant and high intent. It gets about 100 searches per month. Kind of difficult, so you will need to have some good backlinks built to this post with a $13 CPC. So that's really good high value traffic. The number one ranking post has basically written about how to increase your e-commerce conversion rate. So going into this post, they've likely given like a couple of strategies, 18 different strategies to improve your e-commerce conversion rate. So what you'd want to do is, once again, not only cover those 18, but go above and beyond, share 21, 22 plus strategies to improve e-commerce conversion rate. And the number one tip that you need to share is a lot of e-commerce websites get a ton of traffic, but they're not able to convert that traffic in a meaningful manner. So they're using solutions like retention.com in order to email those folks or build audiences against those visitors and then retarget them so that they drive conversions. And this is really easily how you can start to, layer in compelling call to actions at the middle of funnel, which can lead to conversions and you attracting your target audience as well, which would be people like Ben. Awesome. So we are at the last stage of the funnel, which is bottom of funnel. At this stage, people are essentially looking to build out their shortlist or test against their shortlist of solutions that they've kind of identified and make a decision on which vendor to go ahead with or even book a demo with. Before we take a look at these keywords, I just wanted to bring to your attention this offer that we've got for new companies that want to work with us. So the SEO landscape is more competitive than ever and it's changing every single day. That's why we've put together this compelling offer for companies that want to see if SEO makes sense for them. So we basically write 30 top of funnel articles over the course of 30 days for $300, which will help you see that SEO will drive meaningful traffic over that 30 days. And the goal essentially is to build a long-term relationship so that we can help you build a profitable, sustainable SEO strategy that will help you rank above competitors and use SEO as a really compelling channel to build your business. That being said, let's jump into the keywords for the bottom of funnel. So at this stage, essentially the person is looking to make a purchase decision. So they're searching for lists of solutions or alternatives. So for example, Wonderkind competitors, identity resolution tools, and website visitor identification software. So let's take a look at some of these keywords. Wonderkind competitors is really easy to rank for, and it's got a $13 CPC with 40 search volumes. These are people, these are really, really high intent people. It may not be a ton of search volume, but even if you're able to convert 2 to 3 people from this specific keyword on a monthly basis, and your average monthly billable is about $500, you can imagine how one article is ROI positive already for an SEO perspective. So the top ranking post is G2, and we really love targeting these keywords that G2 focuses on. Obviously, G2's put together these pages because they're ridiculously high intent and people are basically looking just to make a decision when they visit these kind of pages. So they're looking at the different competitors, whether it's Bluecore, Klaviyo, etc. So what you'd want to do is something similar in that you'd want to cover the 11 to 15 top Wonderkind alternatives. But then you'd want to list yoursolutionretention.com as the number one solution and really make it clear to the user who you're meant for, who you solve the problem best for, and what are your unique value propositions. It doesn't matter if you get a couple of if Wonderkind gets some traffic and some conversions from this. For the people that your solution makes a lot of sense for, will end up converting, and you may notice that those clients have really, really good lifetime value. So that's why we recommend putting together these kind of alternatives or competitor pages. The next keyword is identity resolution tools. This is a really good keyword because people are basically looking to build their shortlist, right? So it's not too difficult to rank for. 30 search volume, and the top ranking post has basically put together a list of the top identity resolution tools. So you would want to do the same thing, but of course, list retention.com at the number one and highlight to the visitor who your solution is best meant for, what is your value proposition, and include a call to action so that you get some conversions from this keyword too. The next keyword is very similar, website visitor identification software, 80 visits per month at a $12 CPC, and it's again a G2 focused post. So you would want to cover the 10 plus different 10 plus different vendors for website visitor identification software, but then also highlight who your solution works best for. It's the same thing that you're doing through all these different posts. But the one thing that I just want to stress is that you'd want to make your value proposition really clear and add tons of call to actions. And even another thing that you want to do is add exit intent pop-ups. So for example, what High Touch has done over here, when I kind of hover over the X bar, they've put an exit intent pop up over here. I'm not sure if it'll show up now just because I already visited, but you may have noticed it earlier in the video that they had an exit intent. So that's really important because these high intent keywords, people are really conducive to conversions. So adding in an exit intent pop up just to get their email or some kind of intro offer that you can offer, whether it's book a demo, free trial, whatever it is, it's a really good way to convert that 2 to 5 to 10% people in order to take the call to action that you want them to take. So now we're going to take a look at probably one of the most important strategic moves that you can make from an SEO standpoint, and that is optimizing your homepage around the proper keyword or keywords. So I want to just visit retention.com and point out that you're identifying as an identity resolution software. That's the category that you've defined for your visitors. However, when you look at your title tag, you're talking about things like Klaviyo flow revenue increase, which is awesome. That's a good value proposition. And then in boosting your Klaviyo flow revenue, but you're identifying as an identity resolution software. So I think there's some blurring of the lines of which category do you play within. And case in point over here is that when you visit Ahrefs and you take a look at the keywords that your homepage is ranking for, you're ranking for things like retention software, retention platform, retention marketing. So there's some confusing signals that are being sent out to the market. And I want to prove that point by visiting G2. So according to G2, they're identifying retention.com as an other marketing software. So this is the case in point that even G2, when they put together this profile for retention.com, they're not really sure which category that you play within. And when we compare this with the profile that G2 has for Wonderkind, they are identified as an identity resolution software. So it's clear that like Wonderkind has identified this, and they've even gotten these platforms like G2 to put them into the right list. And this is really important. Like this is a really key thing because potential buyers are looking at categories when they try to find solutions rather than value propositions alone or messaging alone. They're looking for categories because that's their shortcut to finding a quick solution that'll work for them. So if identity resolution software is the category that you identify with, then we would recommend just adding that within your title. So for example, it could be plus 250% Klaviyo Flow revenue through our identity resolution software, and then adding that to your header as well, your H1. You've already added into the text, but then you'd also want to add it within these mini headings below about how your identity resolution software specifically is the component that's going to help them grow. So for example, we solve your biggest problem. So 98% of your shoppers are anonymous. Your cart abandonment are not sending to every website visitor. So we help capture through from anonymous website through our identity resolution software, comma, even if they don't fill out a form, 100% compliant. And same thing you can add throughout these different headers as well. You don't want to over optimize. There's an art and a science around that. So if you have any questions about how to do that, I'd recommend just sending us a message and we'd be happy to give you some pointers. But essentially the core value proposition, or the core message in this section, is that if you are identifying as an identity resolution software, you need to make that messaging really clear on your homepage. That'll help you rank meaningfully for this keyword, because the majority of the conversions end up coming through home pages and landing pages. Blog pages still do drive conversions between 2 to 5% from our data, but the homepage is where you're going to be driving the mass majority of your conversions. And you definitely want to show up for brand unaware keywords. So for example, here, retention software, retention platform, it seems like these are just spin-offs of your branded term, right? Retention.com. But what you ideally want to do is show up for these non-branded search terms, such as identity resolution software, because Klaviyo login is not really a good keyword. That has not a lot of relevance for you. Even though you do integrate with Klaviyo, you're not really a Klaviyo login service, right? So you need to rank for your target market, your target category that you compete within. So we wanted to use this time now to just give a high-level overview of the value of these different keywords and how they would drive ROI for retention.com and for your company as well if you're watching this and you're not a part of the retention.com team. So the first thing is that the landing page identity resolution software is able to drive about $12,000 worth of search traffic if you optimize that properly, which is not the case currently. And aside from that, these other top to bottom of funnel keywords are alone able to drive about $9,000 plus worth of traffic on their own. But then when you take a look at the entire picture, so G2, that's about $21,000 worth of search traffic that you're able to drive. And then globally, that's also another, let's just do this. That's about 7,000 global volume that you're able to rank for. If you're just able to optimize around these 10 keywords and rank for them meaningfully. Now I know what you're wondering at this point. You can write the content, but what's the ROI look like if you actually do these optimizations, if you actually make these changes and create these pages? So looking at the content ROI calculator for retention.com specifically, if we work backwards and we first try to understand from the standpoint of the average annual revenue per user, reverse engineering a bit, we understand that within your category, there's a rough minimum subscription cost of $500 per month. Assuming that you retain the average user or company for 12 months or 1 year, that means the average annual revenue per company is about $6,000. And then if you're just taking scenario one into view, which is having people sign up to your email list and then converting them over time to paying users, if you're able to convert 15% of your list over the course of a year, that means that the average annual value of a lead is roughly $900. Average annual value of an email subscriber for your list is about $900. So when you work with a team like ours, where we put together compelling SEO strategies every month with 30-day SEO sprints, no contracts, month to month, then our cost for services is about $1,500. So to justify that spend, you essentially just need 1.7 new email subscribers on a monthly basis. But keep in mind over here that you're going to be driving roughly 7,100 visitors per month through all these different keywords. But even if you just look at these blog keywords alone, these are about 1,200 visitors on a monthly basis. So the kind of traffic that you basically need to justify an ongoing spend of $1,500, if you have a 1% conversion rate from visitor of a blog traffic visitor to your email list subscriber, you essentially just need to sign up, or you just need 172 visitors on a monthly basis. Obviously, like, these conversion rates are really optimistic. Maybe this is like a 0.5%, or maybe this is like a 0.25%. Then you basically just need 689 visitors on a monthly basis. But keep in mind, once again, you're driving 1,200 visitors, and this is just 10 keywords. When you'd work with our team, we'd put together a compelling strategy of 30 different keywords on top of the landing page. So you'd realistically be looking at 3 to 4x the traffic. So the different scenario that we want to look at, scenario two, is when a visitor visits your site and they convert on the first touch. So this is really optimistic, but if you're aiming for a roughly 3% conversion rate, assuming you're able to generate high intent, really relevant traffic, that means that the average annual value of a visitor or lead is $180. To justify that spend, the $1,550 on a monthly basis, that just means you need 8.6 visitors on a monthly basis. And that's taking a look at the average annual value of a lead compared to the overall cost of the services. And then if you are just converting your blog traffic to actual users with a let's just say a conservative conversion rate of 0.5%, you just need about 1,500 visitors on a monthly basis, which is attainable because these 10 keywords alone, you're getting about 1,200 visitors. When you factor in the homepage as well, that's 2,100 visitors that you'd be looking at. 2,100 visitors. So it's definitely like, this is an easy way to see how you can get ROI, not only through emails but also through direct conversions as well. So that wraps up the keywords and optimizations and even mini audit that we did for resolution.com. If you want us to cover your company in one of our weekly analysis videos, please feel free to drop a message down below or get in touch with us over our website or Twitter, and we'd be happy to feature your company. If you would like to even just make sense of SEO as a channel, you may be starting off and you just want to see if you can actually outcompete your competitors and start to build traffic, you should take advantage of our introductory offer where we do 30 top of funnel articles over 30 days for $300. And that sets you up with a really good baseline to build a solid foundation of for using SEO strategically and growing strategically. You can feel free to check out some of our case studies on our website. We'll be dropping that link down below in the YouTube video as well, and walk through how we've helped countless companies across different industries grow their businesses sustainably and predictably through SEO as well. So we're always here to help. Just drop us a message and we'd be happy to help you grow your business through SEO too.